We're on.
I'd like to call the meeting for the Planning and Zoning Thursday, May the 1st, 2025 to order, please. Our first order of business will be our public hearing, which is the Gearhead Garage Conditional Use Permit, CUP-100. Mr. Burks?
As preliminary matter for this public hearing, I ask that the publication notice published in Warren County Record be made part of the record by reference. The city comprehensive plan and the city ordinances be made part of the record by reference, and the planning and zoning officer report be made part of the record by reference. This is the Gearhead Garage Conditional Use Site Plan, CUP 100 and SP 180. The applicant is Lone Lockhart. The location is 719 Veterans Memorial Parkway East. Currently Zone C3 Highway Commercial, and Mr. Lockhart seeks to a conditional use and site plan approval to establish a 2,250 square foot vehicle service and repair shop, formerly Auto Lube of Warrenton. The reason for the conditional use is because of the repair portion of that. Per my report, all site plan items have been met and consistent with our current code. Art Corman from Lewis and Beatty's here, can answer any questions for that project.
Mr. Corman, did you want to speak at this time? Thank you.
Yes, for the record, Bart Corman, Lewis and Beatty Surveyors and Engineers. The owners have a renter that potentially come into the old Jiffy Lube, but obviously because it's been vacant for a while, the auto repair conditional use kicks in the trigger, so that's why we're back here to do that. So we're upgrading it, showing the trees and the shrubs to comply with the city code. And I answer any questions anybody may have throughout the meeting.
Thank you very much. Anyone else here to speak on behalf or against the Gearhead Garage Conditional Use Permit? Hearing none, we'll close our public hearing and open up our regular planning and zoning meeting for this evening. First order of business will be our minutes from our last meeting, March the 6th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for the March 6th, 2025 meeting as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Costello, second by Mr. Miller to approve the minutes as submitted. Any other questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Mr. Costello?
Yes.
Mr. Cullum?
Yes.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Mr. Durbin?
I wasn't here.
Mr. Cooper is absent. Mr. Ditterman?
Yes.
Mr. Cornell?
Abstain, I was absent.
Ms. Madden is absent. Mr. Miller?
Yes.
We have 5 in favor, 2 abstention, and you said we have 2 absent or 3?
Absent.
Do we have
And
a-
one vacancy, sorry.
We do have a vacancy? I couldn't remember. All right. Motion passes. We go to public comments. So is there any public comments at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on to our first order of business tonight, and that's the Gearhead Garage Conditional Use Permit that we just heard about from Mr. Corman and Mr. Burks. Any questions there for our panel? Go on, Mr. Cornell.
I do have a question about, so this was traditionally a auto service drive-through. I know there was a car wash at one time. This is changing to a auto repair, is my understanding.
Correct.
So, of course, my concern is, it would seem that we're going to start having vehicles there that may not be able to be repaired the same day that they're brought in. Where is that storage going to be? How are we going to block the view of?
Sure. So there's parking in the back, as well as obviously we have 3 bays here that cars can park in. So there's parking in the rear, so the building blocks most of that from a site visibility standpoint. But that's where it would be at.
How many cars would be have the ability to park behind?
So officially for like true parking spaces, I have 6 spaces back there. And that's to allow to accommodate the 26-foot wide pathway that city code requires. Obviously, there's more gravel than that, and you can stack them in a little tighter for that. But by the way, to meet the configuration, I got 6 spaces back there. I know more can get put back there, but I can't put them there without blocking the fire code 26-foot wide pathway. But we all know that probably will. And I staged it to where the handicap space would be the only space that would be in that case. So if those parking spaces were put there, or cars would be parked in the non-spaces, there's a really good chance the handicap parking spot would be open and there would still be a pathway. Geometrically, I couldn't put those spaces there.
And then there are 3 parking spaces up front?
Right.
What hours of operation do they,
That would be something, Brad,
Well, we could, being a conditional use permit, we could put any conditions that we want on here, like, one thing, those 3 bays in front need to be empty every night. That's basically for parking, for customer parking, I would assume. So we could make sure that in our conditions that we say that those 3 bays would definitely be empty in the evening. And any, cars that are being worked on currently that he's waiting on the next day or whatever could be in the back. I don't know if we want to put a number on that or conditions to that. I'll leave that to, but go ahead and answer your question there, that the hours of operation and so forth.
Typical hours of operations would be, we arrive between 7:30 and 8 a.m., open officially at 8 a.m., and we close at 5, Monday through Friday. Saturday, typically we do shorter hours, anywhere from 9 to 3.
And closed on Sunday?
Yes.
Good for you.
do you have any other locations?
Currently, we do have a building in O'Fallon that we are using. Our goal is to come to Warrenton and end ties with that one. The location's not very good. We don't have any visibility. Most of our clients and employees live out here. So we want to be closer to where we're at to help the community we're in.
So do you plan on putting a sign on top of the front of the building?
Oh yeah, like a logo, a sign? Absolutely, we do.
And this is, you're leasing this from the owner of the building, is that what we understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Scott?
In addition to conditions regarding, excuse me, the 3 parking spaces in the front of the building to be open, other than just customer parking during
There's
business
no
operation.
problem at all.
One of the things I see with auto shops, not necessarily within city limits, but auto shops in our area, is it's not uncommon for there to be piles of old tires, parts, half a car, and those kind of things visible on the lot. And so I'd like to have a condition that there not be any outdoor storage of vehicles that are not there for service, and no outdoor storage of parts and tires and things of that nature. I'm assuming that's agreeable?
Yeah, basically just don't treat it like a junkyard.
Right.
More or less, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we
Well, because
take care of our...
that's right there in the middle of the city.
So this gentleman behind me is actually the owner.
Okay, can you state your name for the record, sir?
Lauren Lockhart.
Lauren
Yeah.
Lockhart?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. And you're going to be the owner of the Gearhead Garage?
Yes.
Thank you. Did you have anything that you wanted to add to? Okay,
No, I'm good.
you're good. Okay. We'll let Bart speak on your behalf then, and that's scary, but we like to listen to Bart. I agree with you, Scott, 100%. And I know my garage that I use is not in the city limits, but I know that they are very particular about people leaving their cars for a long period of time, and then they put a storage charge on there, and or whatever. So, I mean, that'll be something that you'll have to watch very closely on your, to meet the condition that the gentleman here put on there for tonight.
We do have a storage fee on ours as well.
Okay.
Like if it's over the 30 days and it starts being a $12 a day fee.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? I guess the next thing we need to do is come up with the conditions that we're going to put in the motion.
With that being said, so I know there's a possibility because there's other mechanic services in Warrenton that we talked about if they ran into this. And you said that there's a storage fee, but they actually have an area back behind their building that you can't visualize for the, and it's not even for long-term storage because he said, no, we've ended up having vehicles that'll be worked on and the person will go, oh, I can't pay that, and just take the car. Well, then they're stuck with the car and trying to get rid of it. Is there a time frame that's within the city regulations that says for how long that the vehicle sits there before it would have to be moved?
No. That's why we just put conditions on this permit to make sure that we, and make the owner aware of that we don't want,
Right.
and I think they're aware of what we're talking about. I mean, this place is a nice place for this kind of, we definitely want that building being used in a proper manner. Go ahead, Mr. Costello.
Well, I was going to say, you know, whether it's a vehicle that's repaired and not picked up because the person can't pay, or whether it's a vehicle that is being worked on tomorrow
Right.
and going to be picked up tomorrow. If things are parked on those spaces behind the building, I'm not terribly concerned with whether the vehicle is past due on payment and you're just waiting for them to come pay you. As long as you're not exceeding the spaces that are allotted. In other words, if all those spaces that are allotted are full every night and then you've got 4 more vehicles stacked up here or there, that's going to be in violation, first of all, of the requirement that you have a 26-foot drivable path around the building and all of that. So I'm comfortable with the condition of those spaces in front not being used as overnight parking, that they're only there for customers as they come and go. And then the conditions to not have any outdoor storage of derelict vehicles, parts, tires, or other equipment out in the open. And if you have other conditions as commissioners that you'd like to add, but those are the two, and whether the vehicle, like I said, is just way past overdue and you can't let it go back to the owner until they pay you. As long as you're not using more than those spaces allotted, I think it doesn't really matter to the typical passerby.
My concern is not,
Commissioner, you need to speak into the microphone, please. Thank you, sir.
sorry about that. My concern is, even with the best intentions, there's 9 parking spots. So if you have a few vehicles that, maybe you've got 2 vehicles that we're waiting on parts to come in, that's going to take up 2, and we really only have 6, right? Because the 3 cannot be used for parking, right? That's in and out, and not overnight. So then you also have employees that need to park. I don't know how that's functional. I've dealt with a lot of shops. I've got friends that have owned shops, and this is always an issue. And it's an issue on lots that are 3 or 4 times this big. It just doesn't seem that this site, it's not like you could put more gravel behind and expand, because it looks like it butts up to a different owner's property. It's a small lot.
Are there 2 service bays or 3?
There's 3 altogether.
3 service bays?
3 bays.
I'm assuming you can put vehicles in the building overnight as well.
Right. And then, Bart, you said there's some gravel on the right side there?
Yeah, there's some asphalt and there's some gravel on the right side in the
You
back.
just left those, you couldn't put parking there because of the passageway.
Right, but I
mean,
can put some parallels there. I can put some parallels on,
unless they're saying an employee can
on the
park
side
there
as well. Employees can park over by
and then
where
leave
we're
that
putting
empty
the
at
trees.
nighttime, yeah.
So, I mean, I can add more parking that still will comply. It's just put the minimum there and
Right.
give it some flexibility from there on out. But,
Yeah.
but we can add more parking. It'll be a unique configuration, but we can park some cars there.
Because this is not going to be like a, I mean, I'm not going to say there's never going to be a situation where somebody comes in for an oil change and stays to get it done, but it's not going to be, this is going to be a more of a typical garage where people drop off their cars and get it worked on and pick them up later and stuff like that too, so I'm assuming. I mean, your main purpose is not like a Jiffy Lube in and out type of thing, even though I'm sure that still people will do that, yeah. All right, anybody else have any questions before we entertain a motion?
So what's the final verbiage for the?
Well, right now, it's, the conditions that we have are 3 spots up front would be empty each night. That's reserved basically for customer parking during the daytime, during the business hours. And then no derelict cars sitting around. That means cars that are up on blocks and no license and things like that, because that's actually against city code anyway, inside the city limits. Unused parts that are just laying around, chassis or whatever. And then no stacks of tires that we see a lot of times that these, it's not that to say that they couldn't put a tire out front or some during the day with their business, but they can't just leave it out there overnight type of thing where they're, as long as it's for advertising purposes or whatever, so I could see something like that, but that's the main thing we have right now, the spots up front and no derelict cars, parts or tires, etc. And like the gentleman said, we don't want it to look like a junkyard right there on the main street there. Does anybody else have any other conditions they would like to add to this?
And Bart, how many potential additional spots do you think you could add and still comply with the 26-foot drive lane?
So I can add 2 to 3 on the east side of the building there, because that's basically a one-way, because I needed to put the 3 parking spots up there for customers.
Right.
So I can add 36, yeah. So I can basically add 3 there, and then with the right dimensions here, I think I can add about 3 from the building back on the west side. So.
Yeah. Okay.
I would want those as one of the conditions that we go ahead and add those in.
And our main point here, gentlemen, is we're excited that you're opening this building, but at the same time, we want to make sure that it looks, and I'm sure you're in the same agreement that you want it to look pleasing to the eye and to our community. So we appreciate your help in doing that. And Bart, thank you for bringing that forth. I'll entertain a motion, Mr. Costello.
All right, I'll make a motion to recommend approval of the Gearhead Garage conditional use permit, subject to conditions that the 3 parking spaces in front of the building be used only for parking during business hours and left empty during after-hours periods, that there be no outdoor storage of parts, derelict vehicles, tires, etc., and that the additional parking be added to include at least 3 additional parking spaces, subject to what Mr. Corman is able to make work and comply with the 26-foot safety driving lane.
Thank you. Entertain a second.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Costello, second by Mr. Cullum to approve the Gearhead Garage Conditional Use Permit, CUP 100, with the 3 spots up front being vacant in the evening, no derelict cars, parts, tires, etc. Around the storage in the evening, and the additional parking that Mr. Corman can fit in as necessary. All in favor? Any other questions? All in favor, or roll call vote, I'm sorry. Woo.
It's all right. Mr. Cullum?
Yes.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Mr. Durbin?
Yes.
Mr. Dederman?
Yes.
Mr. Cornell?
No.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Costello?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-1 with 3 absent and 1 vacancy. Thank you, gentlemen. And next order, might as well just stay there. Next order is the Gearhead Garage Site Plan, SP 180. Mr. Burks?
It's basically the same information.
Same information, okay?
Yes.
Mr. Corman, you want to speak?
I think we've hashed it out already, but it's the same thing. They're tied together.
Right,
It's just a formality of doing 2 steps here.
right. Making sure they agreed to this conditions beforehand.
I'd like to make a motion to pass the site plan for Gearhead Garage as displayed and discussed.
Subject to the additional parking.
Subject to the additional parking conditional uses as addressed.
I have a motion by Mr. Cullum, second by Mr. Dieterman to approve the Gearhead Garage Site Plan, SP 180, with all the conditions that we put in place, plus the additional parking. Any other questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Mr. Barton?
Yes?
Mr. Durbin?
Yes.
Mr. Dieterman?
Yes.
Mr. Cornell?
No.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Costello?
Yes.
Mr. Cullum?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-1 with 3 absent and 1 vacancy. Thank you, gentlemen. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next order of business will be amendment to Dobbs Tire and Auto Center Site Plan, SP 181. Mr. Burks.
And this site plan is amending Site Plan 178. There's going to be 2 changes on the site plan. The proposed site plan amends the previous approved site plan 178, which the board approved on December 17th, 2024. The original plan included 79 parking spaces on the west side of and around the building. The revised plan removes 30 of these spaces on the west side due to the site development costs. And then the second one is the Dollar General store shared southern entrance is not on the amended site plan and will not be constructed due to safety concerns with the proximity to Highway 47. So if someone's turning out of that southern drive and someone's turning in from 47, making a right into there, there's not much distance. It's pretty close to Highway 47. They do have the approved preliminary email from MoDOT for the entrance. One of the entrances off of 47, one will be closed and one will be used. And per my report, all the site plan items have been met and are consistent with our current code. We do have an engineer here that has a presentation for it. Do you have any questions for me?
I do not.
So can I?
Go ahead.
Can I understand what the reason for the reduction of the parking spaces is?
You can explain it's for cost. So they only need 49, or they have 49. I think they only needed 35 spaces, but they had 79 altogether. So they had a lot of parking spaces, which pushed everything west. So they took those 30 out to close that.
So it still meets the city requirements for the
Yes.
number of spaces for the type of business and the square footage?
Yes, it does.
Can you state your name for the record,
Sure.
sir?
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, my name is Brandon Harp with CEDC. We're the civil engineer of record here on behalf of Dobbs for the amended site development plan. Mr. Burke pretty much covered, covered everything. SP 181, the amended site plan. As he said, we were here in front of you back at the end of last year and obtained approval of the site plan, a conditional use permit. We also did a lot consolidation and a rezoning of one of the parcels. We do a lot of Dobbs projects, and we never have 79 spaces on any of them, so I'm not sure why Dobbs asked to do that on this site, but they did, and so we came to this commission and the Board of Aldermen and got that approval. The site work costs came in extremely high. It's down a hill. There was a retaining wall on the north side. It just came in too much, and so we backed it off by 30 spaces to get down to the 49. All the Dobbs we build are somewhere between 35 and mid 40s, so 49 is still even on the high side of what they typically have. And then, so that's the existing site plan that was approved. There was also a driveway to connect to the Dollar General, which for some reason is not colored on this plan, in the lower right corner. And then you can see on the new plan that little gray box that are supposed to be red to highlight where we removed the access point. So apologize, got a little messed up on the color rendering. But you can see the left 30 parking spaces got removed. It all got pulled in. The stormwater basin, the toe of the slope, all that got pulled in with it. A lot less tree removal, a lot less land disturbance. The north retaining wall was completely removed. We still have a retaining wall on the south side between us and the Dollar General just because of the topography. And as Mr. Burke said, Cindy Martin with MoDOT has approved these plans. The application has actually been completed by the awarded contractor, J.E. Foster. And we are planning on starting construction May 21st after the Board of Aldermen. So we respect your approval for this. So we can move on to the Board of Aldermen on, I believe it's May 20th.
That's exciting.
I guess I don't fully understand what was the issue with the cross access with the Dollar General lot?
So there's a concern that if you're, a couple of things. One is if you're going southbound on 47 and you want to make a right into the Dollar General and you have a car coming out of the Dobbs going south onto the Dollar General, there's a point where that car's going to be making a quick right in and may not see that car because the horizontal distance is so short. The other concern is that if you have a car leaving Dollar General and typically trying to make a left and they can't because of traffic, a car could come out of the Dobbs and they could block that inbound lane and cause a conflict point there. So the MoDOT permit basically had us remove the one entrance on 47 and then they approved the new one on 47. So it's a conflict point that the parallel driveway to Dobbs is too close to 47 to have those vehicular movements.
So on the old site plan, there was an access on 47 directly from Dobbs?
The original site plan along the frontage did not change from this plan. The only thing that got removed was the access to Dollar General.
Okay.
But subsequent to the P&Z and Board of Aldermen approval, we ended up going through the review process with MoDOT and got their approval. Okay. And that along with the removal of the parking. And because we're reducing the parking by over 10%, the city code requires us to come back and do an amended plan through the Planning and Zoning Commission and Board of Aldermen. If we were less than 10%, it'd be a staff review.
Okay. Very well explained. Any other questions or comments? Entertain a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Dobbs Tire and Auto amended site plan as displayed and discussed.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. Cullum, second by Mr. Durbin to approve the amendment to Dobbs Tire and Auto Center Site Plan 181. Any other questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Mr. Durbin?
Yes.
Mr. Dederman?
Yes.
Mr. Cornell?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Costello?
Yes.
Mr. Cullum?
Yes.
Mr. Barton?
Yes, motion passes 7-0, and that'll come in front of the Board of Aldermen on
May 20th?
May 20th.
All right, thank you very
Thank
much.
you, sir, for your time. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
That'll end the regular meeting, and we'll turn it over to Mr. Burks for a report.
We'll have a meeting next month. I have 3 items for the agenda already.
Okay. Does anybody else got anything for the good of the group? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for coming out.